Hey Team Acura, I'm Jonathan Rivers with Acura Product Planning, and I'm here at our secret proving ground in the middle of the Mojave Desert. And if that sounds familiar, just because a few months ago we were here introducing the TLX Type-S, but today we're here for the next chapter with the all-new MDX Type-S. So we're gonna walk around, talk about some of the new exterior changes, interior changes, and powertrain changes that make the MDX Type-S special. So let's go and start from the front. The first thing you'll notice is the menacing diamond pentagon grille. And yes, just like the TLX Type-S, it has the new open surface design. But there's a few key differences from TLX Type-S that we should point out. The surround for the grille is actually body color this time, which really helps to blend in and give MDX Type-S an aggressive stance. You'll also notice for the mesh itself, it's a gloss black finish that really gives it an aggressive design. Additionally, you'll notice the lower fascia for MDX Type-S is completely different, exclusive from all of the other trims. And it was designed and styled that way to support the additional cooling for the Type-S engine and to improve aerodynamics. Now, speaking of engines, just like the TLX Type-S, this has the same 3-liter V6 turbocharged engine, producing an impressive 355 horsepower and 354 foot-pounds of torque. And that's mated to our in-house 10-speed transmission with super handling all-wheel drive coming as standard. Now, there's 2 trims to MDX Type-S, and we're standing next to the fully loaded advanced trim. So you'll notice some other additional features like the surround view camera here in the grille, LED fog lights, and a lot of other premium touches which we'll get to on the interior. And as you come along the side here, one of the first things you'll notice is the very aggressive wheel and tire package, our largest ever fitted on an Acura vehicle. 21-inch size wheels, Berlina black with machine finish for a very aggressive design, and of course behind it, just like the TLX Type-S, we have our electro servo braking system with Brembo 4-piston front calipers. Alongside the vehicle, you'll notice a lot of gloss black elements, including the actual fender flares, the mirror caps, and even the molding around the windows, which all make MDX Type-S have a very aggressive and sporty design. Now let's take a look at the rear of the vehicle and see how it all comes together. You'll notice that aggressive design continues with the dark accent taillights, the gloss black treatment, and the gloss black rear diffuser, which wraps around the quad exhaust finishers just like the TLX Type-S. It even has the same active exhaust valve system that changes the volume and the sound quality depending on the drive mode you set inside. Now, as we take a look, you'll see exclusive Type-S branding, and because this is the advanced spec with all of the features and trims, it even has the hands-free access for utility. So with a quick kick under the rear diffuser, you get the tailgate to open up. You'll notice the same premium 3-row seating as all MDXs, but with this being a Type-S version, we have the battery of the vehicle here in the rear for better weight distribution. And with this being the advanced trim, you have all the top safety and tech features. Now lastly, we have the walkaway auto lock function, which I'll demonstrate now, and we'll move to the inside to show you all those new techs and features. I mean, just wow. Look at the interior of the MDX Type-S. It truly has taken Acura to the next level for premium touch points, materials, technologies, and features. So let's talk about a few of the things that first stand out. I think the moment you'll sit in, you'll notice the high contrast stitching and piping throughout. And I mean, these seats, they have an all new quilted seat design on the top trim of Type-S, and it looks unbelievable. But not only do they look amazing, but for the first time, both the driver and passenger have a massage seat function. and it's very easy to get to. It's a simple button on the dash, and when you push that, you actually have 9-way functionality for the massage seats, the most in the class and the best in the class for sure. So now every commute you have is gonna be amazing. And I mean, I guess the next thing I look over and see is this amazing speaker grille, which is a part of the all-new ELS Studio 3D signature audio system. It has 25 speakers, 1,000 watts of power, and I mean, just look at this. The speaker cone, which is made of carbon fiber, actually illuminates with the ambient lighting theme throughout. It sounds incredible. And of course, beyond that, there's some other new key technologies within MDX Type-S. One of them is that the vehicle has air suspension. It gives you a whole new level of customization. And you'll notice even here in the dynamic mode, as you switch through, going from snow and into the lift mode, you actually see that the vehicle rises up due to the air suspension, up to 50 millimeters in lift mode, to give you that easy in and out access when you have rocks or other things in front of the vehicle. What's also neat is if you change the drive modes to, let's say, the Sport Plus, the suspension goes the other way. It actually goes down up to 15 millimeters to really bring the vehicle to an aggressive sporty stance and give you the best driving dynamics and acceleration possible. MDX Type-S has truly raised the bar for Acura. Hey Team Acura, Jonathan Rivers here with Acura Product Planning. I'm actually in the MDX Type-S now, and I'm out on our proving ground at our winding course. And so I actually want to take the vehicle out, give you my driving impressions, and kind of talk you through some of the changes of the vehicle dynamics, the characteristics, as you cycle through the different driving dynamic modes. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and start her up, and we'll hit the road. So here we are, we're taking off. We're actually in comfort mode right now. So despite being out on the proving grounds, this just lets you kind of feel the standard lightest setting for both, your steering, your suspension, and this is just really compliant. MDX Type-S has air suspension, a new technology, and it makes you feel like you're floating on a cloud. I can imagine maybe in your daily commutes or just around town that this would be the perfect setting to just truly enjoy the kind of premium luxury feeling that you get from driving the car. At the same time, it's probably great with the amazing ELS Studio signature audio system as well. But we are out on the proving ground, so I do want to show you how the vehicle behaves in its more sportier setting. So we'll kind of cycle through as we go along. So still in comfort, we're coming down to a turn, so I'm going to switch into normal. And almost immediately you just feel the steering's a little bit heavier. Definitely have a little bit more throttle response, and the suspension is firmed up a little bit, just a little, not overbearing by any means, but this is kind of the standard setting, and it feels good, very compliant. It really just makes you understand the kind of performance that the car has. Clearly you're going to get more as you get into the Sport and Sport Plus driving mode. So we are going to come up on a couple more aggressive turns, so we'll do just that. Switching into Sport mode. Now, right off the bat, I noticed not only a change to the steering, but the sound. The sound kind of got really kicked in. You can hear the intake and exhaust a little bit more. Not pushing the car terribly hard yet, but definitely feels a little bit firmer. With the air suspension technology in Sport and Sport Plus settings, the vehicle's actually dropped down. It goes down roughly 15 millimeters. So the car instantly feels a little bit more focused and planted. We're coming up over another hill here, and then that'll take us back around to the straightaway. So I'm going to go into the most aggressive setting, which is Sport Plus. Now, in this case, you have to turn and hold the dynamic mode. So just like TLX Type-S, there's an exclusive Sport Plus setting. And yeah, I mean, right now the meters have changed. You see boost gauge and things like that. That really shows its sporting intentions. But For me, when driving a Sport Plus, you also should change the drive for the transmission setting to Sport, changing D to S. Immediately you hear it revving up, and we're gonna give it one quick blast here. So here we go. Car sounds great. The speed is quite impressive on the straightaways. But one of the things that I really like about MDX Type-S is the brakes. The brakes feel just as good. And I mean, the 4-piston front Brembo calipers, I mean, they brought me down to a stop really, really quickly. But I mean, the way this thing handles, I mean, we're taking a pretty aggressive turn here. The car is just flat. I mean, there's no body roll. The fact that this is a very big, 3-row SUV, it's kind of remarkable. I mean, in many ways, this actually gives you the same kind of feeling you get when you were driving TLX Type-S. Now, clearly it's a little bit taller and higher, but listen to that. I mean, as you're coming up over this hill and cresting, there's no lack of power. The V6 turbo, the same 355 horsepower as the TLX Type-S. It really just kind of helps you power through these turns. And the torque is just so good and so down low that, I mean, you can really just kind of power through these turns. And I think one of the last things I can comment on is, together with the aggressive settings for the transmission, super handling all-wheel drive, which is standard, I mean, we're just powering through these turns, and you can feel the actual torque vectoring. You're kind of pushing the vehicle around the turns. It's just a lot of fun, to be honest. So it just shows you the capability of the vehicle and how well it drives. I mean, it really is worthy of the Type-S badge, despite being, again, a big SUV. In fact, the first SUV to wear this Type-S badge. So I'm gonna come around, do one last blast, and then stop and just kind of talk about the overall impressions of the car. I mean, there's a lot to talk about. I'm obviously talking pretty quickly as we're driving through, but just to give you a highline of what I thought about the vehicle and what you and your clients can expect when they have a chance to drive the MDX Type-S. So full throttle, sounds great, and it rips. All right, so this is great. Let's come to a quick stop. Wow. MDX Type-S, maybe one of the best performing vehicles we've ever made, especially as an SUV. The dynamic drive modes, the characteristic changes from the suspension, the steering, the throttle response are all instantly noticeable. And with that, I'm going to go for one more lap.